Uh, Trustee Jones.
Yeah, I think we have a tendency to think that the community is just very divided about this, and it's one thing or the other. And I really want to acknowledge right now that every single one of us is interested in student safety and interested in mental health. Those who support SROs are not disregarding the concerns about mental health, and those who support or oppose the presence of SROs are still concerned about student safety. The question is really what this looks like. And even when the board voted to remove SROs, it wasn't a vote to end our relationship with Fremont PD. We all know that that relationship is going to continue. It must continue, and I want it to be productive. The question is really, how do we envision student safety? And I want to share with you that my vote on this matter is public record. I voted to terminate the SRO relationship and not have officers stationed on our campus anymore. And my opinion hasn't changed because the data that I'm looking at hasn't changed. But I want to share my history. I started out in this district working at the district level 15 years ago because of my concern about emergency preparedness and readiness. And part of that concern was about active shooters. And I've been in this district long enough to have participated in several active shooter drills. I participated back when the recommendations were to barricade yourself in a room, turn off the lights, hide, and stay quiet. And the response to active shooters has changed because evidence shows that we need to respond differently. And I've participated in those run, hide, fight drills. You know, as a community emergency response team member, I've also participated in the city's active shooter training when they were training new SWAT members. I was out at the fire department yard covered in fake blood, laying on the ground as, SWAT trainees were being trained with how to respond to school shooters. So I have a deep history and involvement with concerns for student safety. That's what my record shows. So I want to assure the community that concern is still there. But just as we changed our response to active shooters from this, barricade yourself in a room and hide to run, hide, fight, we need to look at evidence. And just because we've had an SRO program for a long time does not mean that that's what the evidence and data shows that we should continue with. And in fact, all the data that we've been shown supports the assertion that SROs are not shown to be effective in responding to active shooters or in deterring active shooters. In fact, some of the shootings that one of the speakers mentioned, there were SROs present during the Marjory Stoneman Douglas shooting. It didn't deter or prevent the shooting. The SRO wasn't effective at responding, and that's what the national data shows. We have 5 years of data, and that's all that Fremont PD provided us. So we have 5 years of data that does show a disproportionate impact with our arrest data on protected classes of students that our attorney has verified represents a liability risk to us. What we do know is that the SRO task force made several recommendations to invest in programs that evidence shows increases safety and reduces disproportionate impact of discipline on campuses. Those investments are in MTSS, PBIS, restorative practices, and social and emotional learning curriculum. And we need to take a look at how we're going to implement those programs in the district. Now, I know tonight we've got this item agendized. It wasn't listed with a dollar amount attached to it, so we're facing this $17 million budget cut, and we don't have a cut list that's been, for us to discuss or that's been available for the public to look at yet. And I believe it's irresponsible of us to commit funding to a program when we're facing budget cuts and we haven't seen what's on that cut list yet. How can any of us say that this is a priority if we haven't even seen the options that are on the table? We also haven't met yet with the city or FPD to discuss options. We don't know what's on the table from the police chief or the city in terms of what they can offer us at a potentially reduced or no cost. And I trust, I've had conversations with Chief Peterson, and I trust her when she has committed to working with us. And I believe, I don't know if she's still on this call, but I believe she was earlier, and I hope she was listening to our budget situation. We are in a dire financial situation. And we really need to work with the city and see what's on the table for us in terms of our relationship with FPD. And again, without having a cut list on the table, without having a proposal from FPD on the table that would show us exactly what kinds of funds we would be committing to, I think it's irresponsible, and the county is watching, to commit to anything tonight. So I really believe that this discussion needs to come in the context of our larger budget discussion after we have had meetings with FPD in the city.
Okay, it's open for your votes.
Student member?
Thank you.
Oh, I apologize profusely. Student member Khan, how would you vote?
Yeah, I would vote no for the same exact reasons as Trustee Jones.
Thank you.
Trustee Campbell?
Sorry, I was reading it. Hold on 1 second. Okay.
The motion passes with 4 ayes. Trustees Zhang, Prasad, Campbell, and Sweeney voting yes. Trustee Jones voting no.